So I think the really powerful thing about the MELC network and the work that Save the Children has done is that it's allowed us to connect with members of the community that we weren't reaching through our normal outreach means. It's allowed us to bring people into the gardens who weren't using our services already, who weren't hearing about it, and arguably the people who need what we offer the most. I think that's been really powerful. And then I think the kind of holistic approach to young people's services, where we are connecting with organisations who are working in a similar sphere but in a very different way. So those connections have been really powerful, and the monthly meetings for the MELC network, where we've heard from Oasis, or we've heard from Mama to Mama, or we've heard from any of the phenomenal organisations working in young people's services locally, has been both a real inspiration and really powerfully useful in terms of our organising and our planning and our making connections.
Oh, it's been fantastic working on the CB Grow project. It was just great to develop what we were going to provide right from that very beginning without any preconception.
And I think that thing of the family voice, or the participant voice, being really important in the planning stage is a legacy that we see in the other projects that we're planning now. Like the Nature's Playground project, we have built into it a model of feedback which allows us to plan the future sessions based on what people have enjoyed.
Parents at the meeting say, oh, he's never done that before, and he was able to, so the two young children were able to socialize with each other in a really beautiful way, and they said that they don't normally experience that.
I think it's really interesting thinking about the long-term impact of that project as well. Like, that project was made possible through the innovation funding, but it's not just those distinct sessions where the impact is being felt. There's a ripple effect for the whole organisation. It's improved our accessibility through allowing us to build the accessible toilet, but also in terms of how we think about accessibility as an organisation. We've gone on to improve the website to make it more accessible. We're thinking about how we demystify the space for people to come in and use it.
Oh, I got so excited when the accessible toilet went up. Ridiculously overexcited. And I still, when I'm showing people around for the first time, I get very excited when I introduce them to the toilet.
It's such an asset to the site though, in terms of our accessibility for people with access needs, but also for families, because we've been able to put in a full baby change facility in there, which, having been a user of the site myself with my children, it's nice to not have to get their bums out in a polytunnel.
Yeah. And it's also been nice because we have got a few families where the parents do have mobility issues. So I've been really keen for a long time, because I think it's so important that we are inclusive to everyone.
So the Nature's Playground project that we are doing in collaboration with Mama to Mama has been a really fabulous opportunity for us to provide space for vulnerable families that we weren't maybe facilitating the space for enough already. It's been a really nice way we kind of see it as building it as like a stepping stone for them to use our services more regularly once they've had a chance to come and meet people and see what the gardens are like. So I think one of the really important things about making our space inclusive that we can do as people working at Windmill is we make a real point of going around and talking to all the different families, particularly if we've noticed somebody maybe not talking to people or looking a bit isolated in the groups. We make a real effort to check in with them, check in with how their kids are doing. I think we as workers are pretty good at remembering information about families and using that to have those conversations to kind of follow up on things that we've talked about before, and just striving to make the environment as inclusive as possible, even when people come with groups of friends, that anybody can turn up and not know anyone and still feel really welcome here. I think it's a really important part of what we offer.
Yeah. And I've noticed that we have had times where people have come along and they've been having a really bad day and they're a little bit emotional maybe, and they said, I wouldn't have gone anywhere else, but I felt I could come here.